Hola a todos, buenas noches. Hoy es viernes 29 de diciembre de 2023 y son las 7 de la noche en Colombia. Quiero agradecerles a todas las personas que se encuentran en este momento en vivo con nosotros y a quienes nos están viendo en diferido, debido a que estos videos quedan en una lista de reproducción que ustedes pueden ver, obviamente, en el canal más adelante. Hi everybody, good evening. Today is Friday, December 29. It's 7 p.m. in Colombia, and I want to bid you welcome. Thanks to all of you, the ones who are right now with us during this live broadcasting, live class, and also to those of you who are watching this video later, because as you know, this video is going to stay available for you. This is a channel in which I leave all of these classes available for you so you can watch them later. So thank you very much for being here. Tonight, we're going to have the last class of this year of 2023, and we're going to finish the subject of the imperative mood. This is the fourth class, and I think with this, we are going to have covered pretty much everything. Hopefully it's going to be helpful, and remember that this is part of theory lessons that we are studying, but we need also to focus on practicing. Although tonight, as I told you, this is the fourth class that we have about the imperative mood in Spanish, with basic theory about how to conjugate regular verbs using the imperative mood. The best way, of course, to learn this is by practicing and exposing yourselves to the language. So having said that, remember, if you like this video, please, you know what to do. Share with your friends, group, social media, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. Click the bell button in order to get notifications, because we post videos on a weekly basis. So that's the way you're gonna get updated, gonna get the updates on the new videos. Plus, by being a subscriber, you can participate on the chat during these live classes. There's also the membership program available for you if you want to go ahead a little bit further. We really appreciate that, and that's also available thanks to all of those of you who are part of this membership program. We really appreciate that. So let's go and start with today's subject, tonight's subject actually, and that's what's the last part of this class of the imperative mood, is the use of the imperative mood with indirect object pronouns in Spanish. This is kind of tricky. It's not as easy as it is in English, but we can give it a try, of course. This is something very important, and is, let me see if I can get this a little bit so you can read it there. Oh, okay, anyhow, click there, like this. Okay, so being the imperative mood of form which is applied to the second person, because I'm always talking to a second person, the use of you as the object pronoun in an imperative mood sentence would be the reflexive form that we studied in the last class. So, the past class, in one of the last classes. So that's the reason why in the examples we're not going to use you in the examples. So what happens if I'm using the indirect object pronoun, and if we are saying affirmative sentences using tú? Remember, you can be tú, informal, close relationship, singular. You can be usted, formal, singular. You can be ustedes, plural. And in Spain can be also understood as vosotros, but we're not going there because this is pretty much Latin American Spanish, Spanish from Colombia, very Latin American. So we're not going there. So if we're going to build affirmative sentences using you, it's going to follow the same rules for verbs when we are going to conjugate the imperative mood. but we add the object pronoun. So if I say bring me the book, I say tráeme. Trae would be the imperative mood for you, right? Trae. But then I add the object pronoun. Tráeme el libro. Tráeme el libro, right? So I have this table here for the conjugation of the imperative mood. Trae, right? Traer, trae. And then the table for the, this would be the indirect object. I'm sorry, indirect. The indirect object pronoun. So it would be me, te, le, nos, les. See, you just follow this. So if I say with the verb comprar, to buy me a house, compra me. You see how compra is the same verb, the same imperative mood there for the verb. It stays the same, compra, which is tú, right? Compra, tú, compra. But then I add the indirect object pronoun just at the end of the verb, depending on who am I talking about. So buy me, cómprame. Buy him, cómprale. Buy her, cómprale. Buy it, cómprale. You see, for él, ella y ello, her, him, her, it would be le. Buy us a house, cómpranos una casa. Buy them a house, cómprales una casa. If it's male or if it's female, is the same. It's the same. So basically, these are the same. Male, female are the same. We can sell that with vender, which is sell me a car, vende me. Sell her a car, vendele. Sell us a car, vendenos. You see, just this conjugation. And write them a letter, escríbeles una carta. So basically, we have that for affirmative sentences using to, we have the verb conjugated in the, well, following the imperative mood, and we add the indirect object pronoun, depending on if it's him, me, her, it, us, them. I don't have you, buy you a house, because it sounds, if I tell you buy you a house, I would have to say buy yourself a house, right? Buy yourself a house. But then that's, if we do that in Spanish, that would be the reflexive mood. Now, what happens with the negative sentences? If it's negative sentences follows the same rules for verbs, meaning the imperative mood. And we use the object pronoun like so. No, the object pronoun and the verb in the imperative mood. If I say, don't bring me the book, no me traigas el libro. You see? Following the conjugation for the negative sentence in the imperative mood. This is, again, I'm sorry, I did this wrong. Indirect pronoun, indirect object pronoun. And if I say, don't buy me a house, no me compres una casa. Don't buy him a house, no le compres una casa. Don't buy her a house, no le compres una casa. Don't buy it a house, no le compres una casa. Don't buy us a house, no nos compres una casa. Don't buy them a house, no les compres una casa. Don't buy them a house, no les compres una casa. This is the same for male, female. So we can basically just skip this one. It's the same. Now for vender, don't sell me a car, no me vendas un carro. And for escribir, don't write them a letter, no les escribas una carta. For it's them, less. Male, female. You see, so it's basically following the same rules, just we have to add the indirect object pronoun, right? So what happens if the you is translated as usted? Remember, we can in Spanish we can translate you as tú, singular, informal, close relationships, and we can translate it as usted, formal. It's singular too, but it's formal. So if that's the case, for affirmative sentences, we do the same. We just conjugate and we add the indirect object pronoun. Again, sorry for this, indirect object pronoun. So we follow this for the regular verb conjugation in the imperative mood, and this for the object pronoun that we're going to add. So if we say, buy me a house. Usted cómpreme una casa. Usted cómpreme una casa. Buy him a house. Cómprele una casa. Usted cómprele a él. Buy him a house. Buy a house to him. For him. Buy her a house. Cómprele usted una casa. Buy it a house. Cómprele. Buy us a house. Cómprenos. Buy them a house, whether it's male, female. Cómpreles. Compre. You see, this is not changing, and we just add the object pronoun at the end. For vender, sell me a car. Véndame un carro, and write them a letter. Escríbales una carta. So how about for the negative form? For the negative form, the same as we did. Just no, the object pronoun, and the verb following the rules. So in the case of don't bring me the book, that would be no me traiga, usted traiga, no me traiga el libro. This is the conjugation rules for the verb in the imperative mood, and these are indirect object pronouns depending on whatever we are saying. So, don't buy me a house, no me compre una casa. Don't buy him a house, no le compre una casa. Don't buy her a house, no le compre una casa. Don't buy it a house, no le compre una casa. It's the same for the three. Don't buy us a house, no nos compre una casa. Don't buy them a house, no les compre una casa. Male and female is the same. For vender, don't sell me a car, no me venda un carro. And for escribir, write, don't write me a letter, no me escriba una carta. Oh, no les escriba. So write them. No les escriba. We just changed the indirect object pronoun depending on this, of course. Now, what happens if you is translated as ustedes? Because it can be plural, right? You can be plural. Same rules, and same structure. So in this case, bring me the book. Traigan. Conjugation for regular verb with ustedes in the imperative mood. Traigan me, for me, el libro. So we follow this, right? Traer, traigan. Comprar, compren. Salir, salgan. But salir is it's irregular, sorry. Vivir, vivan. So in this case, we have again the table for indirect. Sorry. This seems like I copy and pasted. So for comprar, buy me a house. Compren ustedes, comprenme una casa. Buy him a house. Comprenle una casa. It's the same for her, it. Comprenle una casa. For us, buy us a house. Comprennos una casa. For them, male, female, doesn't matter. It's the same. Comprenles. A ellos or a ellas. And for sell, véndanme un carro. Sell me a car. For write, escriban. Write them a letter. Escribanles una carta. So you see, it's easy. It's not hard. How about negative sentences using you as ustedes? So it's the same rules that we use for regular verbs in the imperative mood for ustedes, but we say no and object pronoun, right? Indirect object pronoun. So we use don't bring me the book. No me traigan ustedes. No me traigan el libro. Following the conjugation and following the indirect object pronoun. So, don't buy me a house. No me compren una casa. Don't buy him a house. No le compren una casa, which is the same for her and it. No le compren una casa a él. No le compren una casa a ella. No le compren una casa a ello o a eso. Don't buy us a house. No nos compren una casa. Don't buy them a house, whether it's male, female, is the same. No les compren una casa a ellos, or no les compren una casa a ellas. And we have don't sell me a car. No me vendan un carro. And don't write them a letter. No les escriban una carta. And we finish this with nosotros. We can say let's, right? Let's. So for the affirmative with the indirect object pronoun is the same. Let's bring. That would be the conjugation. Then the object pronoun. Let's bring him the book. Traigámosle el libro. So we have the conjugation rules. Sorry for this. Conjugation rules and the indirect object pronoun. So we have, let's buy him a house. Comprémosle una casa. Let's buy her a house. Comprémosle una casa. Let's buy it a house. Comprémosle una casa. Let's buy them a house. Comprémosles una casa. It's the same for male, female. And as you can see, we don't have us because us, we are included in that. So we cannot do that. It sounded weird. It sounds weird. Comprémonos can be used, right? Let's buy ourselves a house. But then would be like a reflexive mood, reflexive verbs. Let's sell her a car. Vendámosle un carro a ella. Let's write them a letter. Escribámosles una carta. And we finish with the negative sentences using us, let's, right? So we got let's not. Sorry. Let's not, verb, and object pronoun. Of course, an indirect object pronoun. Indirect. Indirect. In the case of let's not bring him the book, weird sentences, but nonetheless we can say no le traigamos el libro. We're just following this structure. So we know that the conjugation is this for the imperative mood, the mood for the verb, regular verb, and this would be the indirect object pronoun depending on what I'm saying. So let's not buy him a house. No le compremos una casa a él. Let's not buy her a house. No le compremos una casa a ella. Let's not buy it a house. No le compremos una casa a ello. Let's not buy them a house. No les compremos una casa. And for sell, vender, let's not sell her a car. No les vendamos un libro. No le vendamos un carro. Sorry. For escribir, let's not write them a letter. No les escribamos una carta. So this is the way we are going to use the imperative mood. We have studied the imperative mood for the past 4 classes. All the different aspects for the imperative mood, how we can conjugate the verbs. This is basically a matter of practicing. So what's the idea? So with this, we finish imperative mood in Spanish. What's the idea? Of course, this is just theory. This is just theory, and sometimes it's like, and I fall asleep because this theory is so boring. Yeah, it can be boring, but nonetheless, it is important for you to practice, to study these rules for regular verbs, and to also practice with irregular verbs, which there are no rules for them, of course. That's the reason why they're called irregular verbs. You need to practice a lot. You need to be exposed a lot to the language. How can we get exposure? How can we do that? Watching movies, watching series, watching news, watching TV shows. It doesn't matter that we're not 100% fluent, that we're not fully proficient in Spanish. It doesn't matter. We're starting to get that. As an example, my wife is starting to learn English because right now she's been motivated because she wants to start talking more with her granddaughters. Her granddaughter was born in the United States, and she basically speaks English. I speak a lot with her in English. My wife, not that much, but she's studying. She's getting interested in that. And the other day we were watching a show in English, and she was saying like, "Hey, I'm not fully understanding everything, but I'm kind of getting the idea of what are they saying. I'm connecting the words with the subtitles in English. This is interesting." So That's something that you need to do. Try and get the exposure, proper exposure, the most exposure you can to the language. That's gonna help you building your skills. You need to build your skills because you want to learn Spanish, right? And this is not just a matter of reading and practicing and writing, not at all. So watch movies, watch series, watch TV shows, right? Watch news shows, news in Spanish. Also try and read a lot. Read as much as you can. And remember, the other day I was giving you some exercises that you can do on a daily basis. You can go every day and try with little things like greetings, small things like greetings, maybe describing things wherever you are, like veo un hombre alto con un sombrero negro y una camisa blanca. Basic descriptions in order for you to get used to start producing, right? That is very important. In the beginning, because you already know English, you will need something in order to compare. So that's why you translate a lot. But then you need to start working as much as you can in order to start avoiding translating. You can get there, but it's a matter of practice. You need to practice. Having said that, and because this was the shortest class, because I don't see nobody's asking questions, so whoops, sorry about that. Give me just a second. Whoops. Okay. Nobody's asking questions. Everything seems to be understood. It's a kind of a complex subject, but nonetheless, if you study, if you practice, you'll get a hold on this. You get an understanding on this subject. Having said that, I want to remind you that next year, hopefully, we're going to start a brand new course. It's going to be very basic. I hope we're going to get to maybe intermediate. During the year, I'll try to go twice live every week, but in the meantime, I think it's going to be just one class anyhow. So please, it's going to be live, and I have some videos in which I explain this kind of theory, so that's for you to check, because maybe I'm not gonna go that deep with certain subjects. So hopefully that's gonna be helpful for you. And also, I don't know if you remember that there's a series of videos which is called Mike's World, in which I show things around here, Colombia, blah blah blah. In the past few videos, because I've been so interested in Japanese cooking, I've been showing videos on how to do ramen, blah blah blah. I'm not going to do that anymore. I mean, I'm going to do more Mike's World videos with other things, but I'm not going to do cooking videos anymore, because I recently opened a new channel which is called Cocina Japonesa Fácil con Mike. Let me see if I can leave the link here. youtube.com/@ Cocina Japonesa Fácil con Mike. And this is a channel in which I don't see why not. I don't see that is working. Let me see if I can. Cocina Japonesa. I don't know why it didn't work. Cocina Japonesa Fácil con Mike. Yep, that's the name. Anyhow, let me see if this works. I think this one is gonna work. Anyhow, hopefully it's gonna work. That's the what? That's the link. Okay, thank you. So in that channel, I already have some videos. In which I go and explain stuff, Japanese cooking stuff, ideas. I I'm making some reviews on some stuff that I bought from Amazon, and everything is in Spanish. I'm not gonna speak in English anything. So that you can go there and use that as practice too. I have so far I have 6 videos, I think. 7 videos. Well, 6 videos because the introduction video, the welcome video is not really a video, but you can watch, you can learn if you're interested in Japanese cooking and some other stuff because I practice Japanese martial arts, and I'm going to focus this channel on Japanese cooking for beginners, things that everybody can do from the perspective of the practice of a do, which is called a budo. And anyhow, that's another subject. But just wanted to tell you that I'm not going to do that anymore on my Mike's World videos, but I'm going to do that in that channel, so you can watch those videos. And this is the last video, the last class that we're gonna have this year. Next year, I'm gonna be back. I think the 2nd or the 3rd week of January, because I'm planning on taking a little break, 2 weeks break, maybe 2-week break, and anyhow. But I have some videos scheduled for posting, so don't worry, I'm not gonna leave. I have plans on starting that basic course, and we need to start practicing a lot. So luckily we're going to do that. So I wanted to wish you a happy new year. I hope all your resolutions for new year are going to be achieved and fulfilled. Luckily, hopefully learning Spanish is going to be one of those, and hopefully, luckily, I'm going to be part of that process in which I can be useful and helpful in order to achieve those goals. So I really enjoy this, and I hope you do too. I'll try to stay here as much as I can, as long as I can. And okay, keep on studying, sigan estudiando, sigan aprendiendo. Feliz año nuevo, feliz 2024, muy buenos deseos para todos, muy buenas cosas. Happy New Year, Cheryl, and nos vemos el otro año. Bye bye.